All right. Welcome. Be getting started in just a minute. Just going to let some people trickle in for a minute. We'll be getting started momentarily. All right. Good. Just one more minute and then we'll be getting going. All right. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and dive in. I've got a lot of various things I want to cover today. So, starting with the general crypto market, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So, I want to start with Bitcoin because everyone is always asking me about Bitcoin and what Bitcoin means and is it going to tank? Should I buy it? It's still number one. So, it's one of the most common questions I get just across the board. This is exactly what I want to see from Bitcoin to support BSC and the general altcoin market. So, what we have here is a sideways consolidation of Bitcoin in the 50,000 range. The longer that Bitcoin can stay in this 50,000 range, this is going to essentially support a bull run on the alt market because it's going to basically maintain Bitcoin in a price point where it's not overly attractive to where people start selling their altcoins. And what I want to see is a slow grind upward for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin were to suddenly have a major sell off, that would eventually drive buyers to Bitcoin and sellers in the altcoin market. So, this is exactly what I want to see. If Bitcoin could just continue basically going sideways for the next 3 months, that is the kind of action. Maybe it will push into the low 60,000s. That will push Ether, which is absolutely killing it, into the $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 range. I'm extremely bullish on Ether. A lot of people think they'll ask me, "Oh, is Ether overheated? Is this something where it's just overinflated?" I'm hearing so much about BSC and Matic and Dogecoin and Cardano and all these other coins, and the reality of Ether is that it is the number one launch pad still of essentially all coins and projects and tokens. They haven't even released ETH 2.0 yet. That's probably going to be a big driver, a big catalyst for it. So I'm a long-term holder of both Ether and Bitcoin, and I typically don't sell them. Occasionally, I'll trade Ether for other coins when I think the price is particularly good. But in general, Bitcoin and Ether to me are not going anywhere. And I'm the action on Ether. I mean, we're just continuing to push all-time highs. So moving right along. Binance Coin, I think we're gonna see a grind into 1,000. Honestly, if again, if Bitcoin can kind of remain at this current level, and I think we're gonna see Binance Coin just continue to move upward. Dogecoin, I'm all out of. I don't own any. I've made money on it, but it's one that at this point doesn't really interest me. There's people who were shorting it over the weekend. Invest the Best, I know, is shorting it. I think he did pretty well on that. So it's not to say there's not opportunities there, but it's not a coin that I'm particularly interested in right now, just because I feel like it's a little too unpredictable. So moving down the line here. So again, you can just kind of see the coins I really like. Link, it's doing very well. I expect this to keep its bullish trend. VeChain is one that has been consolidating here in the 20 cents range. Anyone who does not own any VeChain, I think this is one that you'll want to look at these levels. I'm going to actually look at the chart here on this one. So you can see this chart that it's gone up and it's been as high as 25 cents. It dipped back down and it's starting to curl a little bit. It's starting to create that sideways movement. So VeChain, again, this is one that it's essentially like the Chinese version of Ether. So it's got a huge user base already essentially kind of cooked into the situation here. And it's been showing very organic and legitimate growth. So it's high on my bull list. Last one on the main stream we're going to talk about today is EOS. So again, I'm going to mention Invest the Best. He called this out hard about a week and a half ago. He called this out when it was $6. He said it's going to go up. He's extremely bullish on it. I honestly am a little surprised that it pumped this hard. You can see here in 2018 that it was as high as, $20 roughly, or $21. If it gets past that level, then it's going to fly. So this is one that I'm considering taking a pretty large entry in. Peter Thiel has endorsed it and invested in it. And this is one that, after getting past some of the initial issues that they had with their governance and also losing some key members, it seems like they've worked out some of these growing pains. And this may be a long-term project that finally has its day. So EOS, one that is kind of almost fully resurrected as of today. So it's very high on my watch list. So generally, crypto market still pretty bullish. We've had some retractions, but overall, it's still looking pretty strong. So moving over to the star of the day, Garuda. So guys, Garuda, this one was called out, I think, by Sergey K. I don't remember who exactly called it out, so I apologize if I'm not remembering this correctly. But this thing is a fork of Panther. So if anyone remembers when we got in Panther at like 13 cents and ended up rocketing up to like dollar something, $2 the very next day. Well, this is a fork of it, has the exact same tokenomics model. Basically, is almost like an identical model. I would say even enhanced. It has additional features on the site that Panther doesn't have, and its tokenomics are bigger. So what I mean by bigger is that it has all of the same features, but for example, the referral program gives 3% instead of 1%. I think I'll have to double check that. But the tax is 8% instead of 4%. So it's like Panther, but twice as big. And that's kind of reflected in the price here. So you can see it's continued moving up. It's just continuing to it's been grinding up all day. This has just been fantastic movement. I got in around $1.41. We had some other people get in around $1.31. But you can see here that since it hit its bottom a few days ago, that it really has just been pretty much a slow and steady grind upward with the one dip. But when it corrected back here, back down to 85 cents, that was still maintaining the overall bullish trend. So feeling very good about this one. For anyone who enters and then deals with a short-term price fluctuation, you're looking at that crazy Panther style APR. So right away, I've already done a harvest. I was just testing. So I've already earned like 80 Garuda or something, and I've only been in here for like 8 hours. So the pools are awesome. The fees are extremely high. So you're going to want to take that into account when you're entering. that uh, you're going to want to leave it in until the price goes up or until you earn that back with APR, because you're going to immediately be down like 16% at a minimum, not including gas, when entering these pools. So in general, Garuda, definitely check it out. I'm feeling very, very bullish, very strong on this one right now. And you can also read about some of their different technology, like their referral program. Yep. So it is 3%. I was correct. So the 3% for the referral program, again, is 3 times higher than Panther. And just in general, these are really strong indicators. So you can see how they're handling their tokenomics. And then when you can try to apply this to other projects. So we've seen Panther work, and so we're seeing so far Garuda work. So, if we can find this pattern again in other projects, then that would be a really strong indicator for a possible entry. So again, just looking at the chart, looking great. Moving along to PooCoin, which is again starting to push up above $9. I locked in my investment today around 7. Still have a decent sized portion riding, and it so far is looking great. So, right here, you guys can see. I think there's a good chance that we could see new highs here. Dipped down a little bit, but every time it dipped, buyers came in. So feeling great about PooCoin. Recouped my investment today. I would put this on your watch list for anybody who has not currently been watching it. I mean, I can show you all of these charts that I'm using to review all of these are all on PooCoin. And I find their charts to be some of the fastest. And I think that we're going to get a website revamp soon. So I'm feeling pretty good about this one. 100X, I was feeling really, really good about. It seems like he's working hard over there, Ken. Price was going up and up and up, and then we had a sell-off about 5 minutes before I started this video. So, I'm holding my 100X. I'm already realized 3 or 4 times on it. So I'm not worried about it, but, just bear this in mind if you haven't entered, that this is a very volatile coin. And it has sometimes, unfortunately, whales will come in and do large sells like this. But you can see it's starting to recover a little bit. So, we'll see what that does. Maybe we'll revisit this at the end. Bonfire, another one that you can see since its high a few days ago, is struggling a little bit. So again, this is one I've already recouped my investment on, but was hoping for a little bit more promising action the last few days. So depending on what happens the next few days, I'm going to talk to the community, see what they're doing. But, this is definitely not the action I wanted to see here. And then Gamer, this is one that I've also, again, recouped on, but I've still got some riding. And it's kind of got some weird action. So, it seems to have some major resistance here. So this is another one where I think the product is really good. It's another one of those earn while you play video games concepts, which I think is going to be a huge model coming in the next few weeks, not months. I'm seeing more and more gamer plays. So if they're able to deliver their product and maintain a fan base and a community base, get people playing their games, then I think this is still a potentially really strong play. All right, moving to our friends over at Qual DeFi. So there were 2 AMA sessions today I attended. I know the price has been dipping the last few days, which nobody likes to see, including myself. APR is dipping a little bit. But I can tell you a few things about this project. One is that I've seen this before. It wasn't in the dollar range, but this has been something where we've seen a pump, and then it kind of will fade a little bit, and the APR will start fading, and then they will launch an initiative that will actually that has shown in the past to kind of rejuice the project. So this is not an unfamiliar pattern for me. This is one that I've done really well on. Right now, I'm just farming. I'm not selling. They are going to be releasing more information about their version 2 in the next couple of days. They've said they're going to release a blog post about it. And some things, I have some vague details about it, which is essentially that they're going to be adding more tokens to the ecosystem for various purposes to essentially complement and support the Liptus token. And they're adding scarcity to the Liptus token itself. So I believe that what we're going to be seeing are that these pools and other bushes will actually stop feeding Liptus and will start feeding a different token. And Liptus in itself will become more scarce. So that is part of their model for price control in the next version of their tokenomics, which they're releasing. So again, that's kind of the vague high level version of it. They're releasing more details about it in the next couple of days. But right now I'm just farming and loading up all my Liptus in the knot bush. I may move it over to the sea and tree bush. So this is something that I'm actually pretty excited about because it is a double reward bush. So you stake your Liptus and then you get fed both seed and tree. This is their new partner, is Tree Defi. So I haven't looked too much into this project, but obviously, you know, any friend of the koalas is a friend of mine. I haven't bought any, but you know, they're official partners now with Koala, so they're someone that I'm going to be looking into a little deeper. But this technology shows us that they'll be able to create more bushes in the future where you're able to get 2 tokens back instead of 1. Think bush your or stake your Liptus, get BUSD and BNB back, for example. So that's my plan on Koala right now. I'm farming and I'm compounding and I'm staying engaged with the team, and we'll keep you guys up to date. Quick check on banana, $5.40. You know, it's just like a little bit of a leaky tire right now. So I'm kind of staying away from that for the time being. I've got a portion of my banana still in squirrel, but I'm not buying any more right now because I just kind of feel like it's just like slowly leaking still. And there's, you know, I just feel like there's all these other projects happening and there's just some excitement leaving. And I'm seeing more and more in these projects that after the first big pump where everyone's excited and then it falls back, you almost become like yesterday's news. And then Garuda comes in or Panther comes in. These other projects come in and start taking everyone's attention. And then people just kind of, you know, quit talking about banana. They quit thinking about banana. They quit shilling banana. So, you know, it's a project that I still think has a lot of potential. But at this point, I'm not loading up anymore until I start feeling, you know, I want to feel a little bit more hype. I want to feel a little bit more buzz. I want to see you know, people starting to come back to it. And right now I'm just hearing about so many other coins. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing in the price is this people are going, you know, I'm going to sell some banana and go try this. Oh, I'm going to sell some more banana and go try this project. And I think eventually I think that'll reverse, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Jedi, just real quick. So I think it may have found some support at 60 cents. I'm not adding more yet, but just this one that, you know, I still feeling pretty good about. They're launching their tools. Now, let me tell you my opinion real quick on this one. So their yield is absolutely terrible on their pools. Truly, there's only 2 reasons to hold this token. One is if you just think, I'm going to buy it low, sell high, great. The other is for their charting tools and their various pro level tools that are available to people who hold $2,000 or more of Jedi. If they release those tools and they're not everything they're cracked up to be, there's going to be a gigantic, like, landslide level dump of Jedi because there's no other reason to hold the token. So there's all of these people right now holding $2,000 worth of Jedi awaiting these tools. And so they have this balance because the longer they go without releasing them, they're going to start losing some people and losing some hype. But if they release them too soon and they don't basically change the game, if they don't add something to the sector that doesn't exist everywhere else, then that also would be a cataclysmic situation. So they kind of have this like narrow kind of spot that they have to hit here. And it's a challenge. I'm not saying they can't do it, but for me, that's kind of the risk of this project is their ultimate delivery. And the fact that like if they could just do something where I could stake my Jedi somewhere for a decent APR, that would go a long way. But right now, they really have the worst APR of like any pool or any farm I've seen anywhere. So just know that that's basically the play at this point. That they're going to deliver some amazing tool that's going to make people want to go buy $2,000 worth of Jedi even at a higher price. Moving right along, let's talk about Panther. So, guys, there's a lot of questions about Panther. I probably had more questions about Panther today than any other DeFi. And it's basically the question is, should I sell my Panther? And, here's the thing. I mean, I think that Panther is falling into a little bit of that same trap that I was just talking about on, Ape, which is it was really, really hot a week and a half ago. And now Garuda has kind of come and taken some of the spotlight. Um, I think that there's still some steam left in Panther. I still think that this is a solid project with a solid community, with solid model, with for the long term, this is still really good APR. Because as great as Garuda is right now, this is not going to last. This 7,000, 4,000, 3,000% APR, this is going to be Panther level APR within a week. And then I guess the question would be, maybe do some people go back to Panther? This is not a rug. This is not a small project. This is a really legit group of people. So, generally I would just say stick with your plan. And if your plan was to do some long-term yield farming on this, then just manage your risk accordingly. And, what I've done in the past when I've done some long-term yield farming and I've been a little bit down is I've cashed out some of my gains because in reality, 1,500% APR over the course of 2 weeks, let's say the price is a little bit down, you can mitigate a lot of that potentially just with your APR. So as long as the APR on these Panther pools and these Panther farms stay above 1,000%, for me, and the price stays, above probably like $1, then it's still a viable play. If it starts to dip below $1, then you might need to seriously check in and figure out what's going on. Right now, I only have a really small size. This is all profit from some other projects that I dropped in here. But honestly, I'm probably going to add more on this dip because I think that there's probably very possibly another spike coming for Panther. And I don't think that this is a project that's going to die and just like disappear in the next week. Once Garuda Mania calms down, some people might go back to Panther. Rodica. So we're having some issues here with the price, but I'm not that worried about it. I'm long term on this one. They've had huge endorsers, so I'm pretty much just holding this one. It is on the ETH network. So this is essentially the same play as Sea Rocket. Don't really want to spend too much time on this, but just wanted to mention that it is currently on a reasonably large dip and has gone relatively sideways most of today. So possible pickup opportunity here. If you need help, just message us in the channel. You can get it on Uniswap, and you have to get it on the ETH network. This is not BSC. It is ETH. All right. Let's see. Moving right along. All right. Let me check. We're going to check back on 100x coin. That's what we were going to do. All right. So it's still moving up. Some buyers still coming in. All right, so that's it for today. I just want to leave with a few thoughts. Number one is that I've seen a lot of people the last few days kind of saying things like, oh, I wish I had sold some, or, like I should have taken some profits. And so just remember in crypto that there is a heavier feeling of euphoria, in my opinion, even compared to stocks. Because in stocks, it can be a very exciting thing when you see the tickers going and things going up. And just in general, it's very exciting to make money. But I feel like in crypto, it's almost more because with all the different channels and you got all the memes and you've got all the excitement and it just feels so new and like kind of unbelievable and too good to be true, but you're like seeing it and it feels like it's never going to stop. And in my experience, all of these projects, no matter how much momentum you think they have and like how high they feel like they're going to go, there's almost always a really hard pullback. Like, I mean, just looking at this 100x coin just now, like it felt like, man, this thing's not going to stop. This is it. This is the breakout. And then boom, just knocks back because this is human nature. What you're seeing here is a reflection of psychology. And in this case, this is a reflection of cryptocurrency traders' psychology. So that's what's happening here. And so that has served me pretty well in my crypto trading, which is sizing in, when I feel like, okay, maybe this is a little bit high and it could dip badly, but I want to go ahead and jump in. You can put like a 1/5 or 1/6 size in just to kind of dip your toe in and get started. You can also um, really take advantage of the APR that exists in the BSC right now, because that's a factor that that really I don't see anywhere else. And so if you can find a coin or a token that's relatively stable and just farm APR on it, that's an opportunity that exists here that really doesn't exist in any other sector that I've seen. And the last thing I'm going to say is sometimes I feel like I want to force trades. Like it's almost like I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, I'm going to go find something. Like there's something out here. And sometimes that can make me enter things that are maybe a little bit higher risk than I normally would, just because I feel like, oh, I just want to enter something. I have this BUSD sitting here. Oh, I have this BNB sitting here. I want to put it in something. And I try to leave that feeling aside. Some days, if things aren't going the way I want, if if it's a market pullback, if a whole bunch of plays I'm in aren't going according to plan, sometimes it's a day I focus on other things. So anyway, guys, that's it for today. And I'm going to check in later in the week. I am going to be out primitive camping this weekend. So it's going to be a couple of days of no computer time, which I think I definitely need. But I'm going to try to get online at least one or two more times before I head out for the weekend. Have a great evening, everyone. I'll be on the Discord.